Good evening. Here is the news. Sid's Angel lost 20 pound overnight. Incredible. Well done. Hello. How are you? Hello from the other side. Alright, maybe just 10 pound. Let's not exaggerate. I'm cooking some more beef spare ribs because I bought a whole heap on a bargain. And some more tonight. My goodness, they were delicious. What's been happening? Anything exciting? I always cook some onions. I just chop them up raw and throw them in with the braising liquid, and they go all soft, and then I'll make them into a gravy. My goodness, that is just the goods. Braised beef spare ribs with onion gravy. Oh. But I've got I picked up another 10 for about $10. But that'll give us 4 or 5 meals. Not bad. You like them raw? You eat spare ribs raw? Is that what VMAC taught you? She likes the blood. Oh, onions, yeah. Yes, I like onions raw too. Red ones in particular. It's funny with onions, you'll grow them and you'll grab an onion from one part of the garden and eat it and it's nice. Then you grab another one and it's really hot. It's just weird how Mother Nature does that. Hello, Lolis. How are you? I love pickle onions too. I make pickle onions. I make a lot of pickle things actually. Bread and butter, pickles. You can pickle anything, of course. You never had them. Pretty simple. Pickle onions, just a matter of time. I can sort of eat mine within about a week or 10 days. I'm very well. The wife's inside is finishing doing what she's doing and she'll be out here shortly. Unless she's in the crowd now. She's not said anything, but she was doing something else. Pickle onions, simple. Peel the onions. Hello, Fuga. Peel the onions, get a big, like a wash pot. Depends how many onions you're going to do, of course. And if I had about 2 gallons of water, I'd put in about 1 or 2 big cups of salt, depending what salt I've got. And then I put the peeled onions in there, put a cover over, and I forget about them for 24 hours. Don't do anything. That opens up the onion to the extent it will receive the pickling a lot easier. You can put them in raw if you like, but doing the salt brine overnight, trust me, at least 12 hours, but 24 hours is good. Then you wash them thoroughly. Wash off as much salt as you can. And the brine mixture is pretty standard. You know, half water, half vinegar. Depends how much sugar you want, how sweet you want your pickled onions. You can add in all sorts of things like pickling spices if you want to. But it's a very simple method. You can make a lot of onions, pickled onions, in a very short period of time. Yeah, it's easy. I use the brine method to get them started. So it's just really salty water overnight and then wash them off. But by doing the salt too, by brining them, Sids, it gives them that crunch. Do you know what I mean? If you just put raw onions into a pickling liquid, they might go soggy. My experience over many pickles, over many years, is brining them for 24 hours, washing the salt off thoroughly, put them in the sterilised jars, and a brine mix. Everyone's got a different sort of brine mix, what they use. I like using malt vinegar, and I like using raw sugar. And you just heat it up to it's just starting to boil, and then you turn it off. And then depending where you are and what you do with your pickling jars, you let it cool a little bit, but it still needs to be quite warm when you just pour it over the onions. Put the lid on, forget about them. But I can eat mine in about 10 days. They're crunchy and they're already pickled all the way through, and then in about 3 months they're at their best. So I normally make them, I'll be honest with you, probably September, because that's about 3 months before Christmas, and everyone eats my pickled onions. 10 days you can eat them, yeah. If you brine them first, what the brining does, it keeps the onion crispy, but it also opens up the onion's pores, if you like. Want for a better word. But it certainly works. But there's all sorts of pickling mixes. You don't need to listen to my half vinegar, half water. There are many different. Depends whether you want really savoury, or you want sweet, or you want hot. Like you just throw in obviously some chilies. No, nothing worse than a soggy one. When you get to it and it goes, you think, oh, jeez. So that brining is the key to keeping the crunch. But if you're interested, Sids, I've got those on my channel from years ago. I put videos up of bread and butter pickles. Again, just use my channel name after that, bread and butter pickles seeds to freedom, or pickle onions seeds to freedom. Put it in the search bar on Google and you'll find them. The bread and butter is a little bit more complicated, but after you see it, you'll understand it's not that hard. But I remember I had a huge jar just before we went over to the eastern states last year, and my daughter-in-law said, well, you're going, so I'll look after those. She took all my pickles, but she eats them. I don't mind that. If someone's going to eat something you cook, you feel good about it. So she scoffed them down in no time. I came across years and years ago, it would be 40 years ago, I was a young man out in the bush. I was a tyre rep for a little while, and I used to go out the bush to the farmers and all that. And this old couple said, come and have a look at this. And they had a whole big pantry about the size of a normal room. And everything was pickled. They didn't have any refrigeration at all. Pickled pork, pickled beef, pickled eggs, you name it, it was pickled. They had about, I don't know, 2 ton of food, if you like, in jars. And while they were there, they were cleaning out some old jars from the previous week. They still ate fresh, don't get me wrong, they grew their own garden, and they killed their own pigs and sheep and all that. But the go-to pantry was their pickled produce. And as years went by, I did a fair bit of research into it. It's basically what people did in the Middle Ages. They used to pickle food because it would last a very long time. And lots of food at the end of summer is ripe. So they would pickle everything, and they would use pickling jars in those days with like little wine barrels with the lid on. I'm sure you've seen them. And they'd make heaps of brine up, and they'd brine their pork and bacon, as you would know. A lot of people in the olden days, I'm talking hundreds of years ago, would make their bacon by simply hanging their bellies over the top of the fire, like with the smoke, so they would naturally smoke. And one thing the research did that I looked into, medieval people basically kept a fire going all day. Here's a little trick to peeling. When you peel enough pickled onions, you get little tricks that you do. Top and tail them. You just get the pinch of a very sharp knife at the very top, and you can tear a line right across it, and then it's gone. I can peel an onion like that. I like the ones that are about 3/4 inch across. Not too big, not too small. About 3/4 inch. And just top tail, have a very sharp knife. Get the first little bit of the point of the knife into the top and just tear. And basically most times you get it right down to the bottom, sometimes you don't, but then you just use your knife and flick it open and into the brine. Try and take as little of the top and tail you can off the onion. Don't take a great big slice, because when you brine them, they'll open up like a cauliflower otherwise. So just a little bit off the top, a little bit off the bottom. Take the first layer of skin off, and away you go. Oh, you'll love them. The longest I've kept pickled onions, because they get eaten quickly, is about a year. But they're easy to make, and when you get onions in season, and you've got the time, and you can make a whole heap of onions. No, I never refrigerate anything I pickle at all. Nothing. There's no need to. It's in a natural preserve. I do, on different types of pickle, add a little bit of honey, like I do with my very hot chili sauce. I don't put sugar in it, I put honey in it. And how long did that bottle last at Ingrid's? 4 years? Something absurd, wasn't it?
Mm.
Just had a big bottle of homemade hot chili sauce, which was absolutely stunning after 4 years, like a wine if you like. But that was done with honey instead of sugar. But it's a natural process. When you think about it, your fridge does only one thing. It preserves food. That's the only thing a fridge does. And in days gone by, there weren't no fridges. There was winter, which helped. If you had a really cold winter, you could store a lot of food in what they call an air box, which is usually a box inside your home, but the outside was open to venting. So you insulated the box. It was all exposed to the outside cold air, and then you just opened up, took what you needed out. A very natural process is preserving, is what we all used to do, but now we have a thing called a refrigerator. But that's all a refrigerator does, is prolong the life of food. A lot of food that people put in the fridge doesn't need to be in the fridge. You don't need eggs in the fridge. Honey never goes off. Honey's a fantastic antiseptic. My grandfather used to make a mead, which is a honey-based ale, and whew, that's strong. Anyway, here is the princess. Not too cold tonight, is it? For change? It's cool, it's not freezing.
Freezing. I won't be out here long.
I won't be out here long, mate. Gonna check on those ribs. Can you smell them walking through the kitchen?
Yeah.
Yum.
Bit of steam coming
What did you
out.
think of your spare rib dinner tonight?
Nice.
Lovely flavour, isn't it?
Steam coming out of it.
Yeah, I do jalapenos. I like jalapenos. To me, they're not hot. Tabasco sauce is not hot. Jalapenos, to me, are fruity. But pickled jalapenos is just beautiful. Bit of cheese, bit of cracker, bit of bread and butter pickle, bit of jalapeno. You can pickle chilies, but I prefer to make sauces out of chilies. Might stick the odd chili or two in a pickled onion jar, but... And pickling spices, there are usually 5 or 6 different spices. You can either make up the spice mix yourself, or you can buy it pretty cheap anywhere you go, pickling spice. Yes, I love peppers. We hopefully by about 10 months from now, I'll get my first crop. Tomatoes, chilies, capsicums, all the yummy stuff out the garden, garlic. We are at, well, we're rocketing above you, Lotus. We're at 9.4 Celsius. So, because there's no wind here tonight, it's not so bad. But 9 degrees with wind is about 0. Yeah, I've pickled garlic before, but I prefer to braid and hang my garlic. And that will last you a very long time. Just a cool, dark place, no moisture. You can braid your garlic. I don't know if people still braid garlic. I do, it's pretty easy. And you can grow a lot of garlic in a small space, as long as you feed it well. Yeah, braided garlic. Have you not heard about that, Sids? It's where you literally put one garlic a little bit higher than the next, but you braid as you go. I don't have a video on growing garlic because it's really simple. Here's the best tip you'll ever get about garlic, no matter where you are in the world. This is a universal tip with garlic. You plant garlic in the darkest day of the year, and you harvest it generally in the longest day of the year, which means we're talking winter and summer solstice. About 6 months, even a bit longer for garlic sometimes. But you just plant it in the deep of winter. It struggles for a little bit, and then as spring goes berserk. And if you left garlic to go to seed, you end up with these little purple bulbs, individual, like a flower opens up on top. Now, you can harvest those, but your whole garlic then is ruined underneath because it's put all its energy into this bulb. But those individual garlics you can plant, and then you'll get a clove, just one. Then after the clove, of course, you get the knob. So it depends where you are. Those little bulbs are very sweet. So there's a difference in texture and taste between big bulb garlic under the ground and the headed garlic, which grows like a flower at first on top, fills out into bulbs, and they're different. And you can replant those. It's like onions. I mean, if you let just a couple of, and what you do in your garden, you let the best onions in the garden go to seed. I know it seems a waste, but you end up with this big dandelion flower head full of onion seeds. You let it dry on the stalk, then you get a paper bag or plastic bag, wrap it around the top, snap it off, shake, and each onion will give you about 3,000 to 4,000 seeds. You see my point? You save the best one, and then you have the best seeds to then go on for the next season. It's the same with all your produce. If you've got the best tomato, the best chili, well, you save seeds from them. And there is a seed saving website. When I get back on the laptop in the future, I'll be handing out some real easy to follow information about saving seeds, when to grow things, all these things I can pass on. But growing garlic, it's just plant now if you're in Australia, and around about January, February, you'll harvest. But it depends if you're in the tropics, it may be a bit different. But it is a pastime I enjoy. Growing food, cooking food, preserving food. I'm probably born about 500 years too late. I'd been fine in the Middle Ages.
Well, you were born in 1856.
Okay, don't tell them all that. They'll believe you. Did you like my little parody this evening, Sids? There's a bit of truth in what I said, though.
When did you put that up?
I think I did it this morning and didn't put it up till later
Been
tonight.
on the computer today yet. On YouTube.
You'll be seeing the festering anger of an unpaid e-beggar. People not giving money. What is the world coming to? Realization? Hello, Kiwi. 1 a.m. Saturday. Mate, just wait another 5 or 6 hours or more, and I want you to give me the lotto numbers. Because you're here and you're in the future, I should be able to get it on just in time. Oh, you're watching the pickle onion video. Okay. You got to watch the bread and butter pickle one too. You'll like that. Yeah, winter in New Zealand and Australia, it's cold. We whinge about it being too cold. it does get
Lost.
cold. It does
What's
get cold.
Louise lost about?
Lost. What are you talking
They wrote lost.
about? Okay.
Louise. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right.
Lollies,
Lolis.
I think. But my old days don't. And
Hello.
they deceive me.
L-O-I-S. What is it? Thursday morning for most Americans, isn't it?
Friday morning.
Friday morning.
Yes. Only half a day behind. But they're all probably diligently getting their hair brushed and their teeth done and washing the breakfast dishes ready to go down the mine to work another 12-hour shift.
New Zealand, Aussie cricket coming up.
That should be a good game, Kiwi. I mean, the Kiwis fell apart a little bit, let's be honest. But tell you what I do admire about one guy in the New Zealand team, Williamson, with his timing. It's magical. It reminds me, I don't know if you remember Kim Hughes. Kim was a magnificent timer of the ball, and Williamson definitely has that. He's going to be one of New Zealand's great cricketers in the future, for sure. He's a good cricketer now, don't get me wrong, but you know what I'm saying. His timing is absolutely superb. I tell you who has basically made the Australian side very competitive
Oh, yes.
is
yes.
Mitchell Stark, for sure. Hello, Buttercup.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, we've got a buttercup. Is that?
That is who I think it
know
is.
Who it is.
Yeah, we know who Buttercup is. Stark is, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's learnt that late. Do you remember wasn't Akram late in his career learnt that little dip swing at the end? That's what Stark's learnt, particularly to left-handers. He's cleaning them up. You got a lot of left-handers in the New Zealand side.
Louise said there's a lot of lost knowledge in growing food. That's what
There
they were
is.
saying. Yes.
There is, and that's very sad. When you think about people don't grow things anymore, and one thing that you can't really buy is knowledge. Buttercup, Buttercup.
I guessed it when it said hello seedlings. I thought you straight away who it was. It was Lynn. You know,
Fuka's a lefty.
you know what they're all going to say? Lynn?
Yes, apple cider vinegar. I like that, or malt, doesn't matter. Whatever I've got it, because they're both malted anyway. Do you know what I mean? I don't like just white vinegar. You can use white vinegar,
No, we like.
but we like malt or apple cider. I mean, the secret about a brine is after you've eaten all the pickled onions, all you have to do is bring it back to the boil. You waste very little. It doesn't deteriorate. You just strain it out of all the little bits of onion that float around, you know what I mean? Use it again.
Yeah, it's going to take people a while, Buttercup. They're all going to think you're a troll or something. Well, you've got 2 accounts now. We know.
This is her trolling account. Well, you gave her that name.
Yes, and it suits
You have to
her.
take full ownership.
I do. It suits her.
Yes, I saw the photographs of the pasties you made. Said they look magnificent. But you can put anything in them. Do you know what I mean? It can be savoury. You can even make apple pie pasties. It doesn't really matter. I'll have to start doing a few dessert videos. Actually, I haven't made a lot of desserts
No, 'cause
since we've been here because I've been so busy. But
desserts isn't something that I grew up with. That's why.
yes, people tell me that it gives you a hassle.
Oh, how come, Buttercup?
I think it can close your account down for a
See,
little while.
so, yeah, it all takes 48 hours or something. See, it just so much nicer saying Buttercup.
I think, Sids, if you made smaller ones, like I'm guessing it's say a 6-inch disc, so it'll fold over into 3, you could put things like apple, rhubarb, raisins, and that'll be really cool.
That's Kiwi, right? My mate's good at
Good on him. Encourage him.
horticulture. Weed, growing weed.
Nothing wrong with it. Look, Kiwi, it won't be too long in Australia it'll be legal. I have no doubt. Bucky O'Weedadoo, Donahue,
You want to say that again?
the weed grower. It's not a big deal, marijuana. It's ridiculous.
Bucky, meet Buttercup.
Tell you what does look cool, Sids. If you can get pastry cool enough but malleable enough, you can put all your apples, whatever you want to do. And I always parboil my fruit before I put it in, let it cool. And then you can get them, put it in the center, put it up like a money bag. Do you know what I mean? The money bag shape. And then put it in the oven like that, glaze it, and that makes a real cool looking dessert. Yeah, I mean, I'm an ex-prison officer, Bucky. No one was ever put into jail in the last 30 years here for smoking it. Maybe for growing a few acres of it, yeah, but not for smoking it. Police generally just take the stash off you and say, just behave yourself. They can't be bothered with the paperwork. You're dead right by that statement. It's just a plant. There are probably, what I have known, probably 400 plants around the planet that can give you some sort of hit. Marijuana is not the only one.
No, since he doesn't cook with it either.
No. No, I tried it when I was younger. It didn't do anything for me, so I didn't bother with it. I don't mind anyone else making it. It doesn't bother me. It says, I think if they want to smoke it, let them smoke it. If they have an accident in a car under the influence of it, well, that should be just the same as drink driving. Use CBD oil. We've got a friend that uses that. It doesn't really help her, actually.
It's not strong enough what they make here. Well, that's the only one she could afford, actually, was the least painted one.
Yeah, what was it, $400 or $500 a month?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
yeah.
Unbelievable. And she is a smoker, so she could grow some and smoke it. Yeah, I think we're pretty much in the same boat, Kiwi. Next 2 or 3 years it'll happen. Because it's not the drug, it's the criminality of it that causes so much problems. People in jail for having over 2 ounces on their possession, get 3 or 4 months. It costs $100 grand a year to keep a prisoner in prison who's what? Carried 2 ounces of leaf around? That's just absurd.
Buttercup asked you, because you wouldn't have seen this one. There's a common Australian weed that is supposed to be very high in protein, but she's forgotten the name.
Doesn't
Can you
come
think
to
of
mind.
what that is?
No, there are several, but I can't think. She's talking about an indigenous native by the sound of it. There's a few nuts in the bush that give massive protein, like a macadamia.
Yes. Well, no, there's other ones.
There's called berry, which is like a miniature hazelnut.
There's other ones that Aboriginals use. And that's not any of them what you just said.
No, there's a lot of them.
I have to do a bit of research, Buttercup.
But believe it or not, of all the things on the planet that give you the most protein, bugs, crickets,
Yeah, well, I ain't...
worms,
Well, my crickets have got names.
they have 10 times the amount of protein that the highest protein meat has, because just of what they have. Yeah, I love macadamia nuts. I like macadamia ice cream, actually. I know when I was young I was a bit foolish and thought I could crack a macadamia nut with my teeth. Ended up tearing me gum, bleeding like a cow. Terrible. No, you need a special cracker for macadamia nuts.
I've never heard of that one, Bucky. We've got a...
Oh, I can kill you. The actual, Bucky, that milky substance from castor oil will kill you in no time at all.
The castor bean, I've never heard of it.
He's talking about the castor oil tree, which has got a
he
bean on it.
He said...
But it's the actual plant, and the moisture in that plant will kill you. It's like a white milky substance when you cut it down.
Yeah, we only have drama between us when we have a domestic Kiwi, but we let you listen in on it when we have a domestic, so it's okay.
You're welcome, Kiwi. I like fun, and I'll play a few little silly bugger things, but I won't won't accept drama. And any of the mods that are in here, if they see an e-beggar, they know they've got to slice them out quickly. And if anyone wants to come here and start drama, we just boot them. No, I'm not interested.
Pretty tree with the pretty pink flowers, oleander.
Oleander bush, that's similar.
They're actually.
They have a sticky residue, don't they?
Well, they can kill animals. They or if they poke you in the eye, but they're actually. You're not supposed to grow them. Whatever.
Oleander, a convenient bush.
Yeah, but
because it looks flowers and it's sort of pretty.
But they're trying to get rid of it because.
Well, it's like a glue that comes out of the stems when you cut it,
because horses,
and that does kill animals.
Some horses have accidentally nibbled on it and it killed them.
But like I was saying, when Bucky was talking about marijuana, I know there's over 400 plants, if processed correctly, can give you a big hit. So why outlaw marijuana?
Oh, okay, Bucky. Send Bucky money. He broke his song and now he's...
well, in Australia, thongs we wear on our feet, but I have a feeling you're talking about a butt-clenching thong, are you? Oh dear.
No, he's talking about feet, because he's saying he's walking lopsided.
Well, that could be because the thong went a bit too sharp. When we get all this done here, we'll definitely go down, do some fishing videos and a bit more travelling. Go to Sid's place. Mind you, there'll be 300 people there, but still, maybe we'll get there on a Tuesday night. It's pretty quiet, I believe, Sid's. You know, your bookings shouldn't be that high, maybe 60, 70 people.
You've rented Sid's land out, have you?
No, she's got a big house, though. It's beautiful. I love big old house, a bit of land, beautiful. All plastic tie. Make sure we don't put the pointy bits facing inwards.
Kiwi, I've seen people do that on their thongs, on the ones that wear on their feet. Use the tie, the bread tie.
Better go and get me battery charger.
Just leave it on the top there.
Just got to get me charger. The master will entertain the troops.
Well, don't be too long or your phone will die. He always, while he's not here, he always leaves his phone to the last minute to plug it in. Yeah, he was talking about, because you're on an acre, Sids. He's having a joke with you about all these people will ring up and want to bring their vans on there and park on your property.
Right, I'm going to plug in. If we're still going in about 20 minutes, my beef spare ribs should be done. I'll show you them, just so you can drool. They smell good though. Ooh.
Yeah, boondocking.
Yeah, an acre's good size. I mean, an acre allows you a big house, big sheds, big gardens, animals. You can grow a lot on quarter acre. My goodness, a quarter acre of land, growing and chickens and pigs, easy. You burnt your spare ribs. What temperature did you put them on? Mine are only on about 135, which is about 280 Fahrenheit. 270, I think, actually. But they've been cooking for about an hour and 30 now, so it won't be long.
You could write anything back in, I believe you. I don't know how to work out square feet and all that stuff.
But even in Australia, we still buy and sell properties in acreage, not meterage. Even that'll say, like this property says 800, it's quarter acre, basically, just under a quarter acre.
That working?
I'm not sure. Press the side button.
I did.
Okay. Oh, well, if it shows on 10% shortly, on that. On a low, but messed up the timer.
Oh.
Well, I've cooked ribs at 120 degrees Celsius for 10 hours.
Oil lumber is in feet and inches, although...
Yeah, but it's
supposed
like,
to
you
be
know,
something.
Bucky, I'm sure you've done it. If someone says, how far is the next farm up there? You say, about 10 mile. You don't say 16 kilometres. Everyone talks in the old language like that. It's already in place in Victoria here, and it'll be Australia-wide, sure. And so people should have the dignity, if they're living in absolute agony, to choose whether they stay or not. That's not suicide. That's assisted passage, because it means they're no longer in misery. Subject people don't like talking about, but if someone was half dead, brain dead, barely being able to breathe and blind and deaf but in extreme pain, you wouldn't do that to your dog. Do you know what I mean? We turn around, and we've done it ourselves, where we've actually put our little cute dog, put her down because she was in so much pain. Why do we differentiate between loving a dog and loving a person? Because anyone I know that has animals treats them as if they were part of the family.
Yeah, you're right, Bucky. The doctors do it, and it's not
course they
really...
do.
They don't call it, whatever how you say it. It's when they get to a certain point, it's what they call it. They put them on the pump, which has got 3 different medications, all in one thing that gets pumped.
Yep.
Every couple of hours at a certain level. Well, you could still eat them.
Yeah, me too, Bucky. I'm glad that doctors over the years have realised they're not doing anything wrong. I think only a handful that I remember over the last 40 odd years where doctors were accused and charged. I don't think any went to jail though. I think some lost their licence, but...
No, yeah. You don't want to see anyone in agony, Kiwi.
Well, the beauty of a euthanasia bill which allows the person to make the decision. See, at the moment, they're talking about a panel of doctors making the decision. I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. There will be some cases where people are trying to just leave this planet and they're not that ill. I understand that. But if you get a panel of doctors who don't make a decision, and then the person's going to turn to an alternative method. Do you know what I mean?
Or go to another country.
There's nothing wrong with dying. It's just part of our passage. It's all, the death of anyone is not really for them. It's the loved ones left behind that get hurt.
Okay, one word. Behave.
Hello, Bully.
Yes, that's who I'm saying it to.
How are you, Bully? You going all right? He's got some videos.
Oh, have you? I haven't checked your channel.
No, he says he's uploading them now.
Ah.
It's fantastic. Been in contact with Norm at all, Bully? Or did you realise what I said months ago, that he was the Undertaker?
Okay, so when will they be uploaded, Bully? And I will
He said
watch.
shortly.
Okay. I will watch them.
Yeah, I mean, that is the irony of life. 20 minutes, cool. Some people, when you get the videos, Bully, drop the link in the chat. Just by putting the name of the video, like if you've called it the ROC Bully's House, just put that into text. We don't need a link, just need the name of the video, and then we type your name after it. Like if you wanted to look at my pickled onion videos, Bully, you just type in the in the YouTube search bar, pickled onions, seeds to freedom. Hello, yeah man.
No, it's fine. I've subscribed to him.
Oh, so you can go, you can
So
come get
I
it.
will get notified when his videos are up, and I will go and watch them.
We will. Yeah, this has always been my belief, Fuka, that even when you're ill yourself, and let's say you've got a terrible fever and whatever, and you take painkillers, or you get headaches all the time, you take painkillers, but that's all you do. You're attending to the symptoms. You're not looking for the cause. So you really do need to, whenever you get ill, is find out why you got ill. Not just take a painkiller and say, that fixes me.
Yeah,
Yeah, lots of dust in drywall.
Buttercup said it's crazy, mad. It's mad that you have to pay thousands to have the right to die. Yeah, a lot of people go to another country.
We had a brilliant scientist in this country. He was 104, but he had to go to Switzerland to die. He made his goodbyes with his family. This was decided a couple of years prior. He just said, I'm tired. I don't want to go on.
Yeah, man.
And at 104, he should do whatever he bloody pleases, but he had to travel to Switzerland to do it.
If that chook starts walking, I think everybody will freak out.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of dogs and cats will eat grass, usually the furry grass. It brings up whatever's in their intestine causing them grief. And they be sick, and then they get better. But you've got to be given some dignity. Like I say, having other people decide whether you should live or pass on is not the right answer. It should be a case of you want to pass on. You get a psychological evaluation, which I agree with, and then if the cause and the disease and the pain, and if your life ends because you decide to do that, what's wrong with that? Yeah, we have a lot of asbestos-related diseases in my country, sadly.
Yeah, dogs go and eat grass. I sense awesome somewhere.
Hello, awesome, my old friend.
We've come to talk with you again. I have to get Awesome's address, actually.
I think some of the things, we all suffer from bits and pieces as you get older. It's how it is. Do you know what I mean? You can moan about it, bitch about it, but you can't do much about it if it's a degenerative disease like arthritis or diabetes or some other, aging process. But it's when you get the nasty diseases that cause you extreme pain and you're in and out with drugs and it's like your life is so bad, and if it's confirmed that everything is terminal, you're just going to get worse. Why should you suffer? Like I say, Bucky, I think, said it before, it boils down to pharmaceutical companies like to treat the symptoms with money.
And learning natural medicines, people have to, you can even do mistakes with that. You can give the wrong stuff if you don't know your mixtures, like with your bark flowers. Some will counteract another, so even natural remedies, you have to study and use the right amount. You just can't go taking it.
Cancer in its form has been around forever, I believe. And whether I've no doubt a lot of man-made chemicals cause cancer, no question. And I'm more than happy to put my name to the fact I truly believe DuPont and Monsanto have a lot to answer for. Because not only is that spray deadly, but you consume it through the foods. Happy to argue with anyone over this subject. Doesn't bother me at all. Yep, Kiwi, I think the length of your life is not as important as the quality.
Yeah, it's the quality, not the quantity.
Just check on these roots first. I'll be back.
He's checking on his ribs. So is it because of the things they use putting out fires? Is that what it is? Yeah, there's just so many different forms of cancer, really, isn't there? Hey! Hey, Danny, I got some stuff today to send you. And I'll also be sending Sid's another little parcel. Because I sort of sent Sid's off in a hurry because I so wanted her to get the Vegemite to taste it. So probably in a couple of weeks you'll get another little parcel, Sids, but I will get yours off Danny next week. It's I hope what I'm going to send you, Danny, for your cachet thing works. They're not as small as what I wanted, but I'm just telling Danny.
Hello, Danny. We're going for a little walk, actually. I promised at least Sid's that I'd show her the beef spare ribs. The other ones I got. Bear with me a sec as I set up the camera. Just taking them out the oven. That is what they look like after about an hour and 50. I'm just going to test them to make sure that they're at the stage I like. I think the answer is yes. I'm going to have to, you know that, don't you? Would you like some? And they're the onions that I put in when I put a little bit of stock down the bottom. But I shall let them cool down and we're going to have those tomorrow. They are really tender. But just to finish them off, I leave them out, put the foil back over, and they'll even get even more tender just by leaving them there. So if you're there, Sids, there you go. That's the rest of the braised beef ribs. Tender as a baby's bottom, dear.
Yeah, I was just telling Danny that did you see what I picked up today? Those little things.
No.
Oh, they're on the table.
What are they?
I'll get them.
I still don't know what they are because you haven't said.
Danny,
Oh, yeah, we got Danny something today. Yep. Do you want to go and grab them and show her?
I'm still looking for the other things, but they're just hard to get. These are a bit bigger than what I wanted, but I'm sure you'll be able to get some.
I'm not sure if everyone saw them spare ribs, but they are bloody beautiful. All that cost me about $10.
I don't know if I want to show it. It's a bit surprise.
All right, we'll ask the question. Danny, do you want to see what she got you, or would you prefer just to go, ooh, open in the mail, surprise? I'll get a confirmation from Danny first. I have a Texas package for you and Mr. Is she getting all them?
Yeah, I'm going to split them up with a few other things. And
So
then
how many of those is she getting?
I'm not sure yet because I'm going to do Sid's up another little
She's going to teach you now. She's going to show you heaps of things, but you say you only get one of them.
But I'm going to, because I want to put the Vegemite in for Danny as well. Anyway, it'll be surprises for you. Okay.
Yes, Bucky. So you're going to show her?
No, surprise.
Oh, here we go. Typical bloody woman.
Danny wrote, surprise, please.
Oh, okay. You know I want to reach over and grab it, don't you?
No, you're not.
Okay.
I will put it back inside. She wants a surprise.
Okay. Why even mention it then?
Because so she knows that it is on its way, that I found a few little things.
So I'm not telling you what it is, Danny, but that and what else?
Oh, they're inside on the table. I'll show you.
Okay. All right. So we're not to mention what that is.
There's a few things for her to use in the cachet. The rest is for her to keep for herself, a little gift.
Well, you need to make a note.
Yes, I will.
Okay. Well, we've sorted that out. She was going to show you, then she decided not to show you.
See you, Bucky.
See you, mate. Have a good one. Oh, I didn't do it, officer. Oh, hang on. I'm in my van. What?
Did you see
What? No, I'm talking to I'm a YouTube celebrity. Yes, officer. I know. I'm naked, but I got pants on. But I'm a YouTube celebrity, so if you don't mind going away, all right? If you want an autograph,
No,
what?
No, he wants to see
I have the right to what?
He wants to see your license.
I have the right to remain silent. What's that pointy thing you got at me with sort of electricity going across? What?
Bottle of
YouTube celebrities cop it all the time. You know that, don't you?
Kiwi wants a VB. Can't do that.
Oh dear.
How do we send you a VB, Kiwi?
You can get VB in New Zealand. Probably in one of the biggest cities there.
It's just, oh, you've got it coming that way. It's just so cute.
And now you're teasing her.
Yeah.
She's saying, oh, it's so cute.
I will have to nick one to send Sid's.
Okay.
And Awesome, if you're, I'll have to send Awesome a message because I want her address.
We should send maybe one to Tucker.
Yeah.
We'll get Awesome to pass it on to him.
I'll get Awesome to pass it on to him, yeah.
Anyway, you've probably seen enough of my ugly mug.
Oh.
Didn't actually catch it then, but if you slow down the video later, as she's walking past the camera, I think I caught a little glimpse. Yeah, VB's a nice bitter. It's a nice beer on a cold day. On a hot day, for sure. I like, we have Tooheys Old, which is a dark beer. There's a good dark New Zealand beer. What's that beer we get from New Zealand called Black, isn't it, or something?
It's just called Black, I think.
I think the New Zealand beer we like is Black, and it's black ale.
I think it's just called Black.
Something black, I think it is.
So those ribs done.
It was a bleu, said Danny, as you walk past the camera. Your hand went back sort of like that, and I'm thinking, if she slows the... She'll be doing that later today. She'll be slowing down in microseconds.
No, she won't.
And that'll be a blurry vision. It'll be like, you know, Proa, trying to work out what it was. I didn't catch Awesome. Had a hangout earlier.
Oh.
And I missed that.
Oh, when was that? Oh, well, I was out. I went to the shops.
You were out and I was prepping all this food. Did you have a look at the mate?
I watched you as you were, took the camera in.
All right. Incognito. Yeah, I like when you get a gift and you don't know what it is. It annoys me when people says, "Oh, it's not expensive, but it's the pen you've always wanted." And I'm thinking, I haven't even opened the box yet. Why give me a gift and you're going to tell me what it is?
Hey, Nicole.
Nicole alert! Nicole alert! Nicole alert! That came from
Did
the
you see what she wrote?
chicken. No.
She said, "Seeds, I've never noticed before, but don't you have a nice big cock?"
Yes, I do.
You have to go back in and show Nicole your meat now.
Would Nicole like to see my meat?
You'll have to show your meat.
All right, I'll go and show her. Because she's a cook. If you're going to look at my meat, Nicole, make sure you bring a couple of friends. All right? That's all I'm saying.
Don't go to the table, otherwise it's down your deal.
All right, so what, on the right-hand side as I go and I can't go there?
Where the bread is.
All right, can't go there. It's over there, what we're talking about. But you can see that table? It's on the table, but you can't see it. All right, Nicole. These are braised beef ribs. Just for you. Oh, it's fallen off the bone. It's really tender. Really, really yum. But I'll put the lid on. So, I showed you my meat. She is there.
You have to put it back. Everyone likes your cock.
Disgusting.
We're talking about the rooster. And Nicole said your meat would melt in her mouth.
It would. I got them for a bargain. That's why we had it tonight with some other ones I bought, and it was just so yum, wasn't it? Because all that onion and the stock I turned into a gravy as well. So it was yum.
Instead of Papa Smurf, you're Papa Seeds.
Maybe they want a close-up of my cock. There we go.
Not too close. You'll scare them.
I nearly got heat stroke yesterday. I feel sick today, so you can add the things. Yeah, actually, I'm trying to work out what's right with
So
you.
you can add to the list.
I think your left eyebrow's about the only thing on your body that's not falling apart, Nicole.
The Kiwi said he's drunk, so that'd be a sandwich now.
Oh, you'd love that, mate. Just imagine a nice fresh roll, butter, whack on a couple of them chunks of meat, bit of your favourite sauce, then wrap your laughing gear around that.
Well, Nicole, what did you do to be out in the sun to get heat stroke all day? That's not good.
What was the temperature in Manchester today? I'm curious. 30? Because we were in the UK, and in the newspaper in the morning it said, heat wave strikes Britain. And I'm thinking it's 28 degrees Celsius. Now pull yourself together, Britain.
Nicole, you were tanning. Oh my God, it was self-inflicted. What can you do with her?
Well, if you're stinging, if it's hurting, I want you to go and make a big pot of tea.
Yeah.
Really strong pot of tea, Nicole, and then let it sit for about 2 hours until it goes cold. Pour it into a bottle, and every now and then when you feel like you're getting a bit stinging, you get a sponge and you put it in there and you wipe it on your arm or leg, or 74 degrees, bloody freezing. Don't you?
You know the thing, what my mum used to do to us?
Cold tea, seriously, on sunburn, works a treat.
So you got sunburn or heat stroke, Nicole? Because that can be different. Did you get sunburn as well?
I know what we'll do. When Nicole comes to Australia, I'll get one of those little red lifesaver things wrapped to a cord round her arm, and she can run up and down the beach in a bikini. And I'll be following in the four-wheel drive with a speaker saying, put your back into it, girl. Put your back into it.
And
20 mile a day should do it for about 4 weeks. Not a problem.
My mum used to, when we got sunburnt, we were little, my mum would cut a tomato in half and rub a tomato all over us, and geez, that helped tremendously. It took the sting out of sunburn. But I don't know if Nicole's got sunburn. I haven't seen the answer yet. Your knees girl is in the room.
Hello. Hello, Ella.
Not burnt, just heat, stroke, headache, noisy, sick. Okay, righto.
Cold shower, Nicole.
And just make sure you drink lots of liquid.
Or just put your head under the cold shower.
Whose knees are going out? Oh, Seeds are, bully. Yeah,
What's
apple
that noise
cider
in the
vinegar.
distance? We live in a haunted area, Danny. I didn't want to bring it up. We have a ghost train.
Yeah, it's ghost train. That's what Ella calls it. Or
Yep,
is it,
apple cider
or is
vinegar.
it
Vinegar
Buttercup
does the same
calls it
thing.
that? You all know who Buttercup is?
Well, you can die from heat stroke. Plenty of people in Australia die from heat stroke each year. My stomach's too big. Yeah, it's not too bad actually, bully. I've still got abs. But I'm a big bloke and I'm wearing a t-shirt, a jumper and a dressing gown. So my stomach probably looks huge.
That was the police are busy just down the road. Did you hear that? So 10:30. When's
Yeah, the battery
that,
says
Nicole?
it's... Oh, because we've got it plugged in. You stupid boy.
So it's 9:40 p.m. here. 12:30.
We don't have many serial killers, but there's been a few in Australia. A few.
How'd you get on the subject of serial killer?
I don't know, someone just put it in there.
Where?
But heat stroke, you need to go and get a towel and wet it in the coal. Just wring it out as best you can, then wrap it around your neck.
She's gonna go have a shower.
Just put your head under a cold shower.
Yeah, that's the train. You have to do those
But heat stroke comes in combination with being dehydrated. So while you're in the shower, take big gulpfuls of water.
There goes the train.
Scene has demanded that you go live. What, you're going to go live putting your head under a shower? All right, we'll come watch you. Nasty heat stroke, because most people don't know it's going to get them till it's too late. Yeah, but drink water. Heat stroke is a combination of dehydration and blood vessels constricting in your head, Nicole.
Yeah. Go have a nice cool shower and drink some water. Yeah, and then go live.
Just come back and tell us when you're live and I'll can this. We'll give up our prime time just for you, so you can tell us about how crook you are. That's fine. Just go and wash your head, come back and tell us you're live and we'll close this down.
She's going to go for a walk with her dad too.
You don't want to go for a walk if you've got heat stroke. Don't do that. Yeah, I got to get a panel going eventually, but
No, she's not going live till tonight, her time. Hey, there's Awesome. Hello.
hello, Awesome. But Nicole, I got you on some bell thing, so I get this notification. It's got Nicole live, so I'll click on it. It says live in 5 weeks. Why do you do that for? Because by the time I get to see it, it's drifted all the way down the bottom and I don't see it.
And I need your address, Awesome. I want to send seeds to you.
Thanks very much.
Well,
Actually, it is, yeah. That's really the anthem that
thank
boys
you.
sing around the campfire. Waltz sing Matilda, you'll come a waltz sing Matilda with me. And he sang as he watched and waited till his billy
Do you know the other
boiled.
version of that?
Yeah, there's a couple of ribald versions.
The Frankfurt version.
Well, there's another one, which is sort of it was an ad on television years ago, but sort of sums up how Aussies feel about each other. I've been to cities that never closed down, from New York to Rio and old London town. But no matter how far or how wide I may roam, I still call Australia home.
I can't sing, but you have to.
All the sons and daughters spinning round the world, away from their families and friends.
John Williamson, I like.
And as the world gets older and colder, I know, join in whenever you like, of course, where my journey ends.
And who sang that?
That was a Peter Allen original.
Yes, that's right.
But yeah, that's sort of an Aussie theme as well. It means that we can be anywhere around the world, but we always think of home.
Yes, everybody.
No one's typing now because I sang and they all go, oh, fuck this, we're out of here.
Buttercup, AAK Lynn Russell. But we're not telling everyone because that's her troll name now.
Buttercup, buttercup. Dun, doo, 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 doo. Yeah, well, we're going to become a republic. as your
Okay, see
country
you
will
then.
do in the future. If we do it, you'll do it. So we'll have our own song. I have to go to the dentist appointment. Ooh, okay. I never worry about pain at the dentist, just the bill.
Uncle, go.
What?
Uncle.
I'm done.
Alabella said uncle.
I'm done. You don't want to hear me sing in my deep, merry voice.
Oh, who? Oh, what is that singer's name?
Are you awesome tonight? Are you feeling alright?
Yes, that is weird, Nicole. I hate having my teeth cleaned, especially if it's
Oh, I just had it done. We had it done 2 weeks ago. And it's like they just like to watch you squirm.
Barry White.
There
No,
you go.
he's got a sexy voice.
There you go, baby.
Barry White, yeah. And there's another one.
I'm only terrified of the bill.
Oh no, we just sit through it.
Yeah, dentists don't bother me.
it
Just
took-
the price.
Yeah. Actually, it wasn't too bad when I had them done. No, I can't spell either, but don't worry about it.
So when we go and we catch up with a few of our friends in the US, we'll take them to karaoke. And I'm just going to get drunk and listen to them
No,
because it's going to be good fun.
You'll be singing.
All my loving I will send to you. All my loving, ooh. Got to take you guys into the shower with me one night because that corner, right in the corner of the shower, even with the water going,
Oh, that sounds good.
fantastic acoustics.
It's going to take us in the shower.
Oops,
Oh.
I've dropped the soap.
Yeah. No, I can't sing either, awesome, but I don't care. I still try.
You, yeah. And when I say I love you true. Oh. Now I'm going to take up for Debbie. She's throwing pies. That could be good or bad.
Yeah, that's true, Kerry.
But Nicole, you're a mank of sorts. I say that tentatively, because you don't sound mancurian at all. Every now and then your little slip of mank comes out. You know what I'm talking about. But in Manchester, when I was a kid, everybody would gather around and sing. Is it still the same? Or that doesn't happen anymore? You go up and down the street, there'll be people singing, someone's got a piano. But Manchester was very much have a few beers and just have a sing-along.
Yes, a vet is just as expensive as a dentist. Our daughter's got pet insurance out for her two
Hello,
dogs.
Keeping.
Because it's incredible what a vet charges as well, I agree.
If you come away with just a normal vet visit under $200, you've done extremely well. And all they've done is looked at the dog and say, yep, that's a
Yeah.
dog. But a vet does go through another 2.5 years training, more than a doctor.
Yeah.
So if you're in a situation where you can pick from a doctor or a vet to survive with you, pick the vet.
Well, no, you can't throw cream of fruit pie. I'll eat that.
What are you throwing pies for?
I don't know, it's something that Sid and Nicole are throwing pies at each other. But Awesome's telling them what sort of pies to throw, I think.
I do like crunchy peanut butter. Every now and then have a bread roll with crunchy peanut butter on it. $50 a cleaning. Ours was over 200.
£50.
Yeah, that's $100. Ours is double that.
Ours is double that, Nicole.
Yeah,
Sid.
same in Australia. Meat pie is what we eat. I love meat pies. If you put in YouTube search pot pie and seeds to freedom, you'll see the biggest pie I've ever made. It's about 4 inches high and about 5 inches across. And it's full of, actually it was like a curry pie actually.
Is our cost of living higher? Price-wise, when we were over there, it was comparable, really, when we converted the amount. Really.
We pay about $3.50 for a loaf of bread, but we buy wholemeal or grain bread, so that normal loaf will cost you about $3 or $2.50.
No, the one I buy is $2.30 if you want to be precise. See you, Buttercup.
See you, Buttercup. Well, I bet you put in hot mix into the pastry, didn't you, Nicole? It's the biggest error people make. You've got to let your mix go cold. A lot of people will go, oh, I'll just put it in now, it's only still a bit warm. Then the little pastry goes, bleh.
Yeah, got to let the mixture go cold.
So it has to be cold. Like if I wanted to with those...
She said she did.
If I wanted to with those beef spare ribs, I could break all the meat up. Well, I don't know what you've done then.
Well, what did you do, Nicole?
Where do you think it fell apart? In the oven or whilst you were making it? That'll answer a question.
Yeah, because Sid's looked really good.
Pasties or pies are a beaut way to use all your leftovers. I don't really have leftovers. I look in the fridge and think, oh, there's another meal out of that. I'll turn around. Sids, grab that big cane, that 4-inch long, thick cane, and whack Nicole on the arse. And tell Nicole to build a bridge and get over it.
Oh, you use short crust pastry.
You can use short crust.
You can.
You can use short crust.
But puff pastry does seem to work out
I just liked.
better.
Yeah, well, actually, what was in my freezer at the time was puff, so that's what I used. But you can use either. Actually, when you make a pie, if you're going to make it in a dish that you're going to have a bottom and a top to it, the bottom you use short crust, and the top you use flaky. There's a tip for you today, because you end up with a firm pie and a nice fluffy crusty top.
I was just reading what awesome, right, Nicole?
Oh.
Are you making
I can't eat puff pastry, it gives me a headache.
pasties or pasties? Your nips aren't that big.
Yeah, I had some parsnips, but they were marked down because they're very expensive here.
Well, when you use short crust, did you, I don't know, maybe she made it too
Look,
thin?
officer, another guy came here earlier. I'm an international YouTube celebrity. Don't flash your siren and lights at me. Get out of here. Go on the way.
You hear that?
Unbelievable.
Yes, the Puff the Magic Dragon. Oh my God. That is such an old show. I don't know, just give it another go, Nicole.
Do you make your own pasta, Nicole? Because you can make a little bit of pasta just for yourself. You don't need a fancy machine. Yeah, we're actually just outside a real rough neighbourhood.
What it is awesome.
These people can only afford $1 million homes. They're poor people here.
And it's Friday night here. So there's a few people hooning around the road, I think.
Well, I'm sure other people could give you a version, but if you just get a cup of flour and then make it well in the middle, and I like to use, out of a cup, 1 egg whole and 1 egg yolk, just because you get all the yellow stuff, do you know what I mean? And then you just mix it up in the flour, just keep incorporating a little bit of the flour in the mix and make it thicker and thicker. And then just before it finishes and it's still in a well, I put a little bit of olive oil in there, just because that makes it very malleable. And you can do all sorts of things, add whatever you like, but just basically salt, a little bit of salt, eggs, flour, and touch of olive oil. Mix it all up till you form it up, you know, knead it out until it's like springy, it's a nice ball. then wrap it in plastic and forget about it for about an hour, and then just tear little bits off and or cut little bits off and roll it with a rolling pin really thin, Nicole, really thin. So you've got a sheet of this thing you put out, and what you should be able to see is you put your fingers behind it, should be like an x-ray. That's how thin. And then you're ready. And then you can cut it to whatever. You can make straight strains, you can make really fine strains, you can make little cuts. And you know, if you've got a piece of pasta that's about an inch long and about ½ inch wide, all you do is push it together in the middle, and that's how you get your bow ties. It's really simple. So you can make these little bow tie butterflies if you like, or you can just cut it like I do, and it takes no time to cook. Your boiling water, salted boiling water, throw it in there, and you've, I'm saying 3 or 4 minutes, because it's fresh. It's not like your hardened spaghettis and stuff, so it takes no time. And then, like with a dish of cream and maybe some prawns, garlic that have been just simmering away, and there's that nice little sauce, throw it in there, and you have an instant meal.
We'll come and pick you up, Ella. I was at Friday night, put on our shoes, go dancing.
That's true. When you get any type of shape in pasta, it holds the sauce better. But you can make it with wholemeal flour. You can do what you like. But really, just the simple. You don't need the eggs, by the way. Eggs is something that I use because it's going to be an egg noodle. But when you've cut them up, you've got to get a bit of flour and put it over the top and bunch them up and put them in little clusters. That way, they start to dry a bit, but with the flour, they don't stick, if you know what I mean. And before you put it in the pan, just give it a bit of a shake and throw it in.
Oh, I can't. He's a bit heavy to send to you, Sids.
But that's pasta. That's all it is. And if you make a cup of flour of pasta, that's a lot of pasta. You could live basically on flour, salt, because then you've got a flavouring, and milk and potatoes. You could live a very simplistic life, and you could make a load of different dishes with all those things. There are so many different pastas. I mean, some of the best pastas, it seems ridiculous I suppose, are made in China. They really are. And Nicole was talking about udon noodles. In China they have all types of noodles, and they're very, very good at what they do. Yeah, I like to do as best I can with fresh produce. There's no doubt about that. And I like to grow my own, but I haven't had the opportunity here. But I will do.
What are udon?
It's a type of noodle. Nicole can explain that to you. She's an udon specialist. You get these short, different versions of udon, like the Japanese make one. It's not called udon, but it's the same. But it takes forever to bloody cook. But that's when you learn the basics, like make your own bread, make your own cheese, make your own butter. Everyone shies away thinking, oh, that's all too hard. It's easy. It's so easy to make butter. There's even a couple of vids on my channel. Type in butter, seeds to freedom. But you can make cheese easily, you can make butter easily, yogurt. None of this is complicated. And if you make a mistake, oh well, there's always the chicken to feed over there, that one. The butter's so simple. What I do, Suds, is every now and then the supermarket overstocks on cream. It doesn't matter what cream it is. I picked up about 20 containers one time and they were 10 cents, down from $5. I made bucket loads of butter. You basically get about half. You end up with buttermilk and butter. That's where your buttermilk comes from. And it's your homemade butter. I put just the tiniest bit of salt, because we like unsalted butter. And if we're going to use, if I can make enough to make 2 or 3 tubs, well, I won't put any salt in it at all, but when I get a bulk, some of it I put a tiny bit of salt in to preserve it, basically. But butter is so expensive normally. All over the world, butter is very expensive. But if you find some cream on special, it's really cheap, there's your butter. can make cottage cheese in about, well, Sids, I don't know how fast you can make it, but I can make it in about 4 minutes. Cottage cheese. I use lemon juice. You can use vinegar if you like to separate the curds from the whey, but then get a little bag, squeeze it out, hang it up, open it up, and there's a beautiful, like a ricotta really, but I call it a cottage cheese.
It's pretty bright light down between the trees and the sky there.
Well, I think it's a UFO. Definitely a UFO.
It's pretty bright. I'm seeing a light in the sky.
There's Awesome still here.
Yes, she'll be probably getting ready to do a stream shortly, aren't you,
Right.
Awesome?
That was what I was going to ask. If she is, just let us know,
Before you,
and we'll shut her down.
but before you do, show Awesome your meat.
No, I've showed me mate to everyone. Nicole's got the special view, and Sid's had a good look at me, mate. I'm not showing Awesome.
Why not?
No. So you can rewind the video, but it's two bits of meat shown. Well, 10 bits of meat, but 2 sections of the video, corporate showing my meat. And those rib bones off the beef ribs, my daughter's got 2 chihuahuas, and they're going to love them. There's a bit of marrow bone they can suck out of it, and I always leave a little bit of meat on there for them as well. Trump is watching Mr. and Mrs. Seeds. Okay, hello Don.
Oh, the light. Because I said the light. Oh, it's gone.
Told you, it was a UFO.
It's gone. It was too slow.
I had a chihuahua, beautiful chihuahua.
It's too slow.
They're very affectionate dogs.
Except one we think is special.
Well, he may have needs.
Yes, he's a special needs chihuahua. Oh, here comes the ghost train again.
Nicole went to the station. It was late at night, and the train pulled in. She could see the man at the back waving his flag, waving to her to come down the back. She jumped on board the train, sat quietly, pulled out her phone, called 911.
911?
The body of the flagman was found 3 days later in a ditch.
Yeah, people used to call chihuahuas rats here too. But they are gorgeous.
Our little girl only lasted till she was 10 and she ended up with cancer.
Well, we think because she was
Yeah,
poisoned.
she got poisoned about 4 years earlier and was never the
and
same.
then had started having seizures.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's that spaceship landing.
Oh God, it's noisy tonight.
Ground control.
Awesome, have you
Major
opened up a room? Are you there, Awesome? Just tap on the...
Tap on
Hello?
her star door.
Hello?
It's awesome. 5 minutes. Diabetic as well.
Yeah.
Pretty tough. That's
Yeah.
life, unfortunately. We don't want it to happen. It just does happen sometimes, like getting chased by a wasp or getting heat stroke or having sore feet. That can happen.
Yeah, the other place we lived at, we'd get the river rats come up.
We do.
But they sort of didn't cause a lot of trouble.
No, they just really just hovered around, didn't they? They didn't come in the house.
Because they came from the river.
It's all right, Nicole. I want you to get a tattoo that says the following. It was on my old car back in the early 70s. It said, "I may not be perfect, but parts of me are excellent."
Oh, really? Another wasp?
No, it'd be the same wasp.
No,
He's on a vendetta.
No, Nicole killed it. It's a zombie wasp.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Just-
forever going to come back every day.
Don't scare her. It's a zombie wasp. Oh no. You want to see me if there's a wasp around, Nicole? God. I have no coordination when I run, but geez, I can run quite well if there's a wasp around. Those big things. What are those big things we get?
Big paper wasp, about 3 inches long.
Oh my God. They're bloody 3 foot.
But if you're unfortunate enough to ever see a swarm of bees coming and you can't get away, all you do is stand perfectly still.
And panic.
No, you do not move. I've had it twice, it's happened to me in my life. You just stand perfectly still and they just all fly on by. If you wave your arms and run around like a madman, they're going to sting you. However, if a crocodile comes up to you, standing perfectly still is pointless.
Oh, Kiwi's hurting.
I wonder if it was a transgender wasp. It just wanted to bite her because it was jealous of her beauty. I don't have that word in my vocabulary, actually. That was just a funny thing, but I don't see anyone's sexuality important at all. I don't recognise or acknowledge people that says, I am a 9'6" lesbian. I think, man, okay.
Yeah, but
I don't care.
But the other day, Nicole, you said flies were cute in your video. Did you hear that? She said flies are cute.
No, she probably said something else.
Oh dear. Because you can't handle anything that buzzes. It's like when you see flies up close and they are rubbing their little hands together like devious bastards.
There was a skit on YouTube years ago where it was just flies.
Oh, I used to
Do you remember that
love
one?
show.
They used to fly around.
Oh, what was that
And he'd be
called?
rubbing his little hands together saying, this is all mine.
Oh, we've got to find that and send that to me.
You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They had a series on it.
It was so funny. Just little 2-minute cartoon animated type things.
So if you come to Australia, Nicole, would you come scuba diving or even just free diving on the reef? Waving at the sharks and the lobsters and the fish going by? They're not going to bite you. Mind you, lily white skin under the water, my tan skin, I don't know. No, you'd be fine. I know a lot of Poms don't like going in the ocean, but it is magnificent. It really is.
You like sea life. Well, what about jellyfish?
We got some nasty jellyfish. That's a fair enough statement, Kiwi. Everyone's a bastard. I just don't, I've never, as a child, I've never seen the differentiation between a person's personality and their sexuality. It has no bearing. Yeah, you probably get held at customs for a while thinking, this is obviously not human. It's too white. But people do this gender identification, like, you've got to recognise me. And I think, I don't. You're just you. You don't need to put a label on you. But when they go on their little tangents, I just let them go because the relevance is lost on me. What the hell does your sexuality have to do with your personality? Nothing. If you're an arsehole, it doesn't matter what you are.
So you tan that easy, Nicole, do you?
Even in winter, I got a tan on me.
Yeah, you've
During summer, I'm black.
yeah, you tan pretty easy. Gee, it seems to be a lot of trains tonight too.
Some are real trains and some aren't.
Yes. Alright, I gotta put my phone on the charger.
Yes, I have to put that meat in a container.
So Awesome, are you opening up a room? Are you there, Awesome? Oh, I tan fairly easy actually, even though I'm a redhead.
It's funny that, Nicole, isn't it? Some people in the same family will tan easily and the other ones just burn. Two of our kids just burn.
Yeah.
You tell them, Kiwi, eat a pie by lifting it up to your mouth and biting a piece off it.
Oh, hi, Go Green. My God, it's been years. Go Green's in the room.
Hello, my dear friend Go Green. You don't do a lot of videos. I did catch that one where you do the 10,000. Congratulations on that.
Yes.
If you want to know stuff, good stuff about around the home or all sorts of things, please sign up to Go Green. He's a lovable little character. Wife, kids, tractors, you name it. He's a bit of a MacGyver in the workshop. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, sign up to Go Green.
So how have you been, Go Green? We do watch your videos. Like Seed says, you haven't put many out, but we do watch them.
Yeah, he used to be quite regular, but he got busy with life. I understand that, Go. Kids, wife, jobs, work. But he's a very clever chap.
Yep, that's lots of different things.
Well, I haven't heard back from RAC Bully. Has we got a video up there yet? Or?
Oh, I haven't looked. I'll have a look later.
Because he's promising to do videos. Yeah, we've been good, mate. Life moves on. We've now got a little property here. I'll show you quickly. That's the old cottage that we bought. I'm not getting to see a lot of it, but we're actually extending this old cottage all the way down the back.
We should get you over here.
Yeah, wouldn't he be handy to have?
Oh, good. Yeah, you'd be handy now if you came over to visit us, Go.
We're trying to keep the theme of the house similar. It is a new building going on, but we've got old windows, old doors, with sourced from everywhere. So it'll have a bit of character about it, even though it'll be new. After you finish paying for everyone's education, you might be able to fly somewhere to go, but when I was your age, there was no money left over to do anything like that. Always the money goes out. But I think we're very close to closing down because I'm pretty sure Awesome will be firing up shortly. Yeah, no, there is no. I know you kept pumping out kids, which is good. You love them to death. And then just when you think you're just getting ahead and all the kids have left home, they drop the grandkids off back to you, Go Green.
You've got 4 kids now, Go. I didn't realise that. How come I missed that in the videos, or did you not?
Well, we know he doesn't spend all his time in the workshop then. You can also have kids,
No,
Nicole. That's not a problem.
You can't. We'll just send you some of ours, Nicole. Do you want the kids or the grandkids?
We'll give you a nanny's job. I'll be in the pool smoking a cigar on the bank while you're cleaning up all the mess from 9 grandchildren. This should be a fun trip.
8. The other one doesn't make a mess because it's not here yet.
16, my God.
16. What's our eldest? 40.
Yeah, 40.
And our youngest is
32, I think.
no 30.
31.
31.
But the grandkids keep coming. But it's good fun.
Oh, thanks, Nicole.
It'll change. You're still a young thing. You may find a situation where you would like to have children. You never say never.
No, never say never, but no. Can't see it. With Nicole, you mean? No.
Yeah, I got fixed in 1994, Green, and I doubled in size. Look out, mate.
Yep, Seeds was dissexed.
But the beauty between me and you, Go Green, the cylinders keep going over and over, and the camshaft still works.
Yeah, same age as you, Nicole. Yeah, the youngest is 31.
Yeah. You be one of our young children. Yeah, but your neurosis will eventually go away. Trust me. It's just a matter of time. Right, I'm pretty sure Awesome must be pretty close to doing that. Opening up a new hangout. All of you do know Awesome Hooker. So I'm pretty sure she'll open shortly. My battery is pretty low. And I've got to go and put my braised beef spare ribs away. Well, I might have a nibble on one, I don't know. Maybe.
He's got to put his meat away, Nicole.
I'm an 80-year-old in a 31-year-old body. Really. Actually, Go Green can tell you. I mean, a mate of mine got fully put under when he had his done, and I didn't. And I was in and out in 20 minutes, and I was fine. He looked like Cecil the Ram. I reckon they must have kicked him in the nuts. Because he said, have a look at these. What have they done? And I said, well, have a look at mine. There's nothing wrong with them. He said, oh, they put me out. I don't know what they did. I said, well, I didn't want to get put out. You got put out, you big pussy. 20 minutes, they go, shoot, snip, snip, pull. It's funny because you're lying there and you can feel the tug, tie, st. But yeah. But seriously, it's not a big operation. Doesn't stop anything other than the production of children. And it's honest, we've got, what, 7.5 billion people on the planet? I think me and Go Green have done our jobs.
Yes, handle your meat with care, Nicole said.
I will. All hands on deck.
Say that again.
Alright, Captain. I love it when you say that. All right, good people, we are going to go. Probably go to bed shortly. Good to catch up with you. Head over to Awesome shortly. Nicole's got a hangout in 3 weeks. You've probably got a notification of that.
Yes.
So you'll be going to Nicole's in 3 weeks' time. Other than that, I hope you have a great day or a great night, wherever you are. Kiwi, good night to you, my friend. And everyone else.
It was good to see you go.
Yep, good to catch up with you, Go. Looking forward to some of your videos that you're going to be pumping out. And again, if you not know what Go Green does, please just go and have a sticky beak. His name is in the side chat. Click on it, have a look. All right, people, good night, everyone, and we'll catch up with you again in the future. Bye-bye.